We do not hope for peace as long as we add to the war that we serve as a fuel to a fire. The fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. A dying burn fire is increased when more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to committing that which they lack in love, idling, sport, and play. The world that we live and desire, first of all, to hide the truth, to keep the black man who is made blind, deaf, and dumb by the scientific trigonology of the right race, so that the right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace when the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war, instead of finding the right solution and then practicing a right solution? I said these things for the sake of my own black people, for they are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth of the time in which we are living. What they would like to do cannot be done. The time to even continue to do what you are doing is up. We must remember again the predictions of the Bible and foretold these times. If we understand the Bible, it must certainly teach us that there is no peace for the wicked. There is no people who preach such a thing as peace and as being true followers of the prophet Jesus, as much as the right Christian do. See, day and night their airways are full of their preaching. To hear them, you would think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron, as the word Jesus put it. They sat in Moses' seat. The right Christians are great deceivers. We see the Pope of Rome cannot bring peace to the Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then that the Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah that he would send peace to them like rivers? Surely cannot be the present Christian right ways, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace. You see, fire fed with food, leaving your own homes and country. See, go to another man's home and country to make trouble for that people, and then accuse that people of being the troublemakers. It is the attacker who is guilty of that which follows the attack. I said to you, black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding of the time. You are not living in a time in which you may be expecting a settlement of war that will give you what you have already been used to: sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now is the time that you and I should be wise enough to understand that we should think for self and do for self. If you do not know how to do for self, you should follow the man to whom Allah God has given that knowledge to teach you how to do for self. With the ocean filled, with the fleet of the right Christians, and the sky crowded with their death dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that they should submit to you for peace? If you are able to force them to their knees or destroy them, then I say yes. If that was the situation, then I will say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them to their knees. They have been preparing for a war like this for nearly a century. Or what I should say, they have been preparing and working faithfully for half a century to entertain the attacker with the same type of weapons and better weapons than the weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when arguments to the country of peace is like heaping fuel on a fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. I believe, and maybe many hundreds of thousands believe as I do, that the President of the United States of America have good attention towards the citizens of America when he took over the presidency. The time is against him. For the past 4,000 years or more, Allah God has always given the prophecy through the mouth of his prophets of the doom of the wicked. Now is the time. We cannot do anything but take it. It's dangerous to add fuel to unwanted fire. The fire is the war. Man heart failing, and fear. Now, how true the prophecy Jesus says in Luke 21, 25, and 26 concerning the present time. We bear witness that the seas and ocean are whirling, and that fear is now covering the nation as shown by unusual heart failures that is occurring amongst man. Even President Alinsky says, you see your beautiful oceans and waters, all that will be this throne. Because something, brothers and sisters, he's saying that people ain't comprehending. You don't see things is boiling by the minute, by the second, by the hour. You don't see over there in Greece land, see 6 of you guys that's left out. 2 of you stood. Just like Jesus said about the 99 sheep and 1 left the sheep pen. Good, listener, because what I'm going to say over there in Greece land, there's something ticking. Like a time bomb. And I want to put the people in fear because look, brothers, if you know there's a woman on YouTube, nice woman, and she talks about volcano eruptions. But I want to say over there in Greeceland, seismic activity is building by the minute. And she already said it's building up for a major tsunami. So what President Zelensky said wasn't no threat. But he was saying you got beautiful seas. But I'm here to say this, look what's going to happen. Y'all don't see the setup. Y'all don't see the buildup. But the worst is yet to come. There's a worse is yet to come. But when Jesus says man hearts is going to be feeling in fear. In Luke 21, 25, Jesus was concerned the present time. And we can bear witness that the seas and waves are whirling. And that fear is now covering the nation as shown by unusual heart failures that are now occurring amongst man. These are the sign of the end of the present world. See, the seas and ocean are heaving up tidal waves to unimaginable height that man's never witnessed before on earth. See, this is another pledge that's upon the wicked. Now, this what Reno TV don't know. That this is a fulfillment, a prophecy. And since you all want to leave and don't want to stay tuned because you got deaf ears and some of you will go away. But I'm here to say they are willing to take you into the fall of America. So since the Holy Quran teach, my brothers and sisters, that this judgment will be such that the earth itself will act as though a revelation has been revealed to it because of its perfect obedience to the laws of Allah on that day. Allah will use the power that is in the earth and the sea against the world of evil. The right race thinks that they have control of the power of their sea and air. It was prophesied that for a time they would subdue and have used of the power of the sea and ocean until he comes, who right it is to rule. The heaven and earth belongs to Allah, God. Now it is his time to rule. There is much prophecies concerning this terribleness of the judgment of this wicked. The power is in the water is in the hands of Allah, God, to use it against whom he please. The earth, wind, rain, snow, and ice, and earthquakes are controlled by Allah, God. It is a fearful sight to see the displays of his power with the force of nature, bowing and submitting to his will. I shall warn you that this is now come into action against the Western world. There will be the destruction of whole fleets at seas, those which are capable of lying on the ocean. The sea bottom will be destroyed. You see a dissect. You see with a foolish people, like in the time of Noah, could not see the sign of the rain, bringing on the flood. Even after the cloud began to darken the sky, see, they did not see the oncoming rain until it actually started to rain. So it is with America. See, they pay no attention to the sign of the judgment that is taking place. As the Bible prophesies in Revelation 16:9, they blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these pledges. So how many in America, in the city of Chicago, disbelieve, even mock, and swear at the name of Allah, who have power over the force of nature, land, sea, and air? Allah God is now doing as prophesies the Holy Quran. We see Surah 13:41, visiting a land and curtain it of its size. See, the foolish are still foolish until he is cast to a narrow place, cannot turn to the right or left, as it was with the donkey that Balaam was riding. He came to a narrow place between two walls. He cannot turn around. He had to stop face to face with angels or be destroyed. The Bible, Numbers 22, 23, and 26. Let it be remembered that Allah God came forth for redemption to deliver the American black people from their tormentors. Whether we like it or not, He will do this. This is the work of Allah God, which is in effect. Let America use the history of the fall and destruction of ancient Egypt and our Pharaoh. Let the history serve as a warning. They were brought to nothing for the evil done to a people whom Allah God has chosen. For example, of these last days, the lost, found, black slave, and their slave master. The Holy Quran, Surah 30:41, is perfectly true in its prediction of a present-day nation, sea, and land power. Corruption has appeared in the land and the sea on account of that, which man's hands have made. The most grave mistake that the black man is making today is his trying to hold on to the brief and return to Jesus, or that he lived and preached the saving of this white man's world. This is false. Jesus did not preach this. Jesus had a few disciples. Jesus also cursed the Jews, not to mention that he was trying to save them, or the Caucasian people. They are teaching a trick-analogy that the white man used to deceive this black man. And they do this so that our people would not understand that he is declaring himself against the world or the Caucasian race, the Bible. He also declared that the word of truth had no place in this right race of people. They have proved this to be the truth by the mistreatment of you and me. The right race have never worshipped any prophets before or after Jesus as the divine man of Allah God. It's against their very nature to do this. That is why they kill all the prophets that they are able to kill. They deceive the people against believing in the prophets of Allah God, for they was made in their nature to be the enemies of God and his representatives. Before the time is out, they will be forced into submission to the will of Allah God. This will not be done for the purpose of converting the right race. Allah God will force them into submission to prove that he is able to make everything bow to his submission. This is a fulfillment of prophecy, the Bible, Isaiah 45:23. And into me every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall swear. The Bible says, Matthew 25:32. And before him shall we begat all nations. The Holy Quran has a similar prophecy that you shall see all nations kneeling before him. This includes everybody, regardless of their color. Everything in the universe obey the natural laws, which was subject to by Allah, God. On the coming of Allah, God, he now makes everything bow to him, whether you believed or disbelieved. The Holy Quran, Surah, chapter 382, does not make a difference to him whether you are the devil or the righteous. All must bow in submission to the will of Allah, God, on the judgment day. We are now living in the day of judgment. Black preachers, you erase your time and leading yourself and those who follow you to hell. But hold on to Christianity. Revelation 19:20. You cannot keep them in Christianity. See, Christianity was not the religion of Jesus, Moses, or any other prophet who came before them. We had been fears on the part of Allah God, tolerated until just 2,000 years ago to give the right religion to the world, a man. Allah God gave the right religion, Islam, in the beginning of his creation of the heavens and earth. Allah God has not changed. His religion is Islam, entire submission to his will. Hell erupts. Why are the nation angry? And who are the nation that are angry at the resurrection of the dead? The 18th verse of the 11th chapter of this Revelation in the Bible plainly teach us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead, and that God himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people. The black man, it is these white slaveholders who have been the real cause of a mental death of the people. The revelation relates to it as being deprived of justice. God has come to give them justice and justify them as being equal to their white slave masters as human beings. As you know, for 400 years of legal slavery and free slavery, an American so-called, they have never been recognized even as human beings. As one devil says, they are only 3/5 of a human being. It is true that the history of our treatment by this devil slave master practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. That's why I teach that the main right we should seek first are human rights. The American so-called Negro flew in love with his slave masters and his slave master children because their life attracted them and their brothers in Africa. Therefore, the manifestation of the enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see, which caused them to be mentally dead. In the parable of the donkey who plowed out meeting with the angels, he saw that the burden he had been carried on his back was false. Balaam. So, in the resurrection of the mentally dead so-called, they are rising to a knowledge of self. This knowledge make them be or refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. This have anger the slave master, as the donkey refused to anger Balaam. Balaam set about whooping and beating the donkey to force him as unusual to carry and respect him as his master. This use of force to compel the one slave, the black American, to remain with them even now in order to make them members of society is only false recognition of the black American. This lost and now found people, a black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by the white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called have angered God as the cruelty the Egyptian inflicted upon the Israelites during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and of Pharaoh evil in the modern times. The parents here of Jehovah and of Moses, the servants of Jehovah, to announce to Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. Pharaoh became angry and went to work and tried to instruct and bring to nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. This brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his enemies was cast into the Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freeing of Israel by the God Jehovah. The enemy hates this, So now, that angry nation refers to white America and Europeans who are also enslavers of the black man. Take, for instance, the part that England, Germany, France, and Italy had all played in enslavement of black Africa and black people throughout Africa, Asia, here in America, North and South America. There is no such thing in the nature of white people as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for blacks in the Western hemisphere. Now, their anger is running them mad, and they are attacking and killing each other. There is no such thing as peace amongst them, nor can they produce peace for others. The Holy Quran refers to this condition as the kind up of hell. Chapter 81, verse 12. Never before have you witnessed the evil that is spreading far and wide, every hour in the day, in America and Europe, England, America being not the first, but the chief slave makers of black people. They dislike the idea of having a lie dispose of their power over the Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slave. This is the time of increased knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light into this increase of divine knowledge than any black elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slave of America. Why America is angry at God for resurrecting the black slave to a knowledge of self and the slave master. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God Allah to try to oppose the truth of God preached by the messenger of God. Read the second Psalms. The Great Commotion. The Great Commotion of the governments and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental incitement, noisy confusion. There is no action that is being taken, nor can there be any action taken that will bring the people to a better condition of civil action. The white American people have practiced evil and injustice to the man and the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will never be any divine action taken against them for such evil and injustice. But this is what is now affecting. It is the action of divine justice for the poor man, black slave. Allah God and the person Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, has the power. Is using this power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest, and there is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. He is too powerful. He listens in on our thinking. He is capable of making us to think and to do that which he desired to be done. The great commotion today is witnessed by the nation of the earth. For it is America whom Allah God is after for mistreatment of the poor so-called Negroes, the lost found original black members of their nation. America mistreat and kill her black slave for sport, but America's days is drawing to a close. She will not have the freedom to mistreat the black slave much longer, as the mistreatment of Egyptian practiced it against Israel came to end. So will the mistreatment of the black slave by white America come to an end. Isaiah 43 verse 6 says, I'll say to the north, bring that back, and to the south, bring my son from afar, and my daughters from the end of the earth. White America. America has so blind and made deaf dumb the black man America, the black slave, and he will accept her false promises and forsake the true promises of Allah God and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who is here offering us heaven at once. The great commotion will continue in America till this commotion have destroyed the power of oppositions. The disaster. The title of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 101, 1 through 4. What is the disaster? We'll make you know how terrible is the disaster. In the English language, according to the Webster Dictionary, the word disaster means a state of deep distress, misery caused by major misfortune or loss, or a great event marked by great loss, a lasting distress and infliction. Such disaster is now prevalent in America. It is getting worse daily. The third verse of this chapter of the Holy Quran, Surah 101, verse 3, asks a question. It will make you know how terrible is the disaster. The answer is given in the fourth verse. The day wherein man will be as scattered as moths. We do not have to ask anyone whether or not this one of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears. These great disasters that are now striking America. We see the great division, the great disagreement, disunity, and murdering mans. We see the great amount of raping and murdering girls and women. There is great robbery and thief going on every hour of the day and night. There are great storms and adverse weather conditions. There are minor and earth tremors and hailstorms. There are signs and wonders of signs being displayed in the heavens and earth, on the sea and land. There is unusual behavior of children. There is unusual love or dislike of children by mothers and fathers in destruction of the process of childbirth. There is the great disaster of starvation, great destruction of health and lives by the use of administering a poison drug, which is practiced upon those who are free and those who are bound. What had been known as America is threatened today with total destruction. America is destroying herself in an effort to destroy her black slave. The water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. America's scientists of war conducts dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings by the millions and wipe out lives of whole continent. These are the days of fulfillment of prophecy, of not one, but of many disasters. But in all of these preparations of the destruction of human life by the devil, Allah God too had planned to save his people. Allah God has claimed over the black slave as being his people. And the white slaveholders is angry because of the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim. America had done evil to the black man over 6,000 years that she had been here on this planet Earth. Allah God comes to take this black slave away from the enemy, white slaveholders, and join the black slave into his own kind. Again, the enemy white slaveholder hates this, but Allah God has the power to force the enemy white slaveholder to submit to his will. It is the will of Allah God that enemy white slaveholders let these slaves go free. Allah God promised concerning these white slaveholders in the Bible, Isaiah 43, verse 6. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my son from afar, my daughters from the end of the earth, white America. The Bible is stating that a time have come to America, since Allah God has now claimed the black slave, giving them the truth. Allah God has called the black slave who have accepted truth by his name. The black slave who have accepted truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nation of his kind belongs to Allah God. See, the books must be fulfilled, wherein it prophesies that he will claim them to be his own elect at such time as destruction of America. If Allah God has not chosen some of the people of America, the black slave, to be his people, there would not have been any flesh slave from America. The Bible, Mark 13:20 teach us, except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh will be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. The black slave must know that this is the time of judgment of both the white slaveholders and the black slave. The, the black slave must learn to know his place in the judgment. The place of the black slave is with Allah God and his own black people. The black slave that been deprived of knowledge of his God and his own black people. Allah God has come and brought the black slave the truth. The black slave refused to accept the truth. He will be destroyed for willingly and knowingly, rejecting the truth when the truth hath come and its millers. Disaster, disaster, and the country of America. No secret can remain hidden, for the chastisement of Allah God will not let you hide it. As one writer prophesies in the Bible, Isaiah 18, verse 1, whom to the land, shadow with wings. This prophecy referring to America, which hath a cloud of plain, shadowing the skies over America almost daily. Can America exist? The coming of this white man into the Western hemisphere was for the purpose of expansion away from his brethren in Europe. Europe was divinely given to a white race as their home, and it was driven out of Arabia 6,000 years ago to abide there on that continent until the days of reckoning comes to them. These are the days of reckoning for the white race, as the religious scholars and scientists agree. But because of their nature, evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. They make war against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from accepting righteousness and doing the righteousness. Today, the black man in America is a prey to the strong, powerful hands of his enemy, the children of their slave master. For 400 years, the slave master have mistreated their slave, and now in the day of their redemption, they are doing everything possible to deceive them from accepting their starvation that Allah now offers to the black man of America. So strong is Allah's love for us that he now desires nothing but a total destruction of America. They hate me with their bloody hatred, and they tried to kill me for teaching the truth to my people. They do not want this black man of America to enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Look what they did to Reverend Martin King, a man who was trying to be their brother, a man who probably thought that he did not want to draw the white man's blood. He said if there was any blood to be spilled, let it be the black man's blood. His words came to poor man. He was without the knowledge of self, his God, and religion. So fear with fear of his 400-year-old enemy, that he could never get starvation from his people, from the enemy. America had been blessed ever since her father came across the Atlantic, out of the confines of Europe, until this day. Now for evil done to a slave, God threatened her with total destruction. America and Germany are the most evil of the right race. These two governments have been blessed, but they have not shown any worthwhile respect to Allah for his blessing. Allah calls people out of all nations of the earth to come to America. They came seeking the heaven and earth, but those who came was evil too. As the Revelation language teaches us, Revelation 18, verse 2, and he cried mightily with his strong voice, saying, Babylon, America, the great, is fallen, and become the habitation of devils, and the whole every foul spirit, and the cage every unclean and hateful bird. There is no people nor country on earth who will feel this prophecy better than America and our people. She had become a house filled with evil practice. every member of the nation taking part. Yet she have been blessed with a great harvest of food, which is enough to feed the nation of the earth, and for great advancements into the heights of her mechanical knowledge, and for great wealth in silver and gold that enable her once upon a time to command the value of silver or gold of the world. But as it is written in all of his going up of wealth and power, the act of justice was led at the root, at this great tree of prosperity and authority of the nation of the earth, to be used by the Holy One to put a stop to their evil practice and injustice to the righteous. America has prospered from the labor of her black slave. She pays this black man at high wages and salaries, then take them back from him to the high cost of living. This high cost of living of trying to live according to the way the white man lives keeps this black man down. And when he has acquired the education of the white man, but is unable to complete with the white man, come dissatisfied to the degree of creating trouble to find a way to self prosperity against the will of the white man, which is to keep the black man in a condition of poverty want and disregarded as equal human beings. Yet, while the white man teaches that all human beings are created accordingly, at the same time, he robs this black man of a chance to be the equal of the human beings. Can America exist with all of her wicked doing against this black man in America in a state of inequality with other human beings? The continued existence of America and the way of governments and power over people other than her own depends on the way she will continue to treat her one slave, the black people of America, due to the prophecy and the Bible from Moses to Jesus and Muhammad. The prophets saying that these prophets teach us that he come and show them between Allah God and the slaveholders of his people, black America, must come to pass. The time has arrived at this prophecy of defender coming to defend the prey, so-called Negro, who is held in bondage by the white slaveholders, who have and are still mistreating the prey to the extent that the world is in sympathy with the prey for justice. Now it is prophesied that a just ruler will come. He have come to set up a rule or kingdom under the law of justice for a people who have lived under the law of injustice by unjust rulers. This must be fulfilled. The next government for the people, university, is going to be under such a glorious rule of freedom, justice, and equality. It is natural that the old ruler will oppose a new ruler coming to remove him and his authority to rule the people. He will fight to keep his place and authorities over the people. This is why Allah threatened his opponents with the final declaration of war that would end the opponent opposition to his laws of righteousness. I have been writing for many years of the coming doom of the world of Christianity, mainly America, who is the root and the cause of this present judgment of America. The judgment of America is due to the way that she has treated the so-called the black people of America for 400 years. The very hour in which I'm writing, America is still mistreating her slave with the worst kind of treatment ever according to human beings. America practiced the way of her father treatment of American so-called under what she called a law of freedom. But this freedom is only words, not in practice. The slave master children blood hearts and way of thinking towards the one slave, same as their fathers. They find it so free to beat and kill the one slave, so-called Negro, at will, that they will continue this practice of mistreating and murdering the slave day and night because there is no law or justice for the black man of America, who is the property of the fathers of America, white citizens. America never think in terms of being equally punished for the wrong done to so-called Negro. The Bible parable of Balaam riding that donkey must be remembered. When angels went to settle the unjust mistreatment of the donkey by Balaam, angel found Balaam still beaten and forcing the donkey to carry him right in the presence of the visiting angels, who was carrying a sword to bring about the justice between the two. It is almost impossible to say that America can exist. If America to exist, America ruling power, it will make prophets of the Bible and even the Holy Quran prophesize other than the truth. It is impossible to make them out liars who wrote the doom of the race that will come at a certain time. And that certain time is now known. Time can be prolonged. The Messiah that the world had been looking for to come for 2,000 years desired, for he does what he pleased. This does not mean that he would change the idea of the doom and destruction of America. But if he pleased, he could extend our time. He had done almost a marvelous thing, like submitting to the righteous, taught and delivered to a mentally dead slave, the so-called Negro. This is the only way America can exist, by bowing in submission to the will of God taught by his messengers. The time that we are now in is a time of the anger of God against the evildoers. It is a time that the God of righteousness rejoices to repay the evildoers for their doing and reward the righteous for their righteousness. Therefore, to curb this set day, a doomed demand for the doing of righteous, which by nature was not put in the right race of people. But they may yet be smart enough to bow, to put a stay to their execution for a few days longer, not by intermixing with a slave to enjoy, as long as they are blind, deaf, and dumb, and do not understand. This act only has in their doom, while the foolish, blind, deaf, dumb, so-called Negro does not even know that he is being blind, deaf, and dumb to his slaughter. There is no such thing. The enemy will rule peace. Also the wicked, according to the prophet Jeremiah and Isaiah, are the one who had destroyed peace amongst men. My advice, now listen. Now my advice to this right man is to make haste. Get in a hurry if you want to live. Bow and submit to that great truth, righteousness, the will of Allah. What will be the end of the war? Many of you may think that America ends a war in Asia. This will bring peace and prosperity to the people of America. Perhaps someday there may be a lull and a war, but not now. If America and Asia can find a way to bring about a cessation of war between each other, this does not mean that peace and prosperity is assured. Now at this time, there's still this Cold War between America and Russia and other parts of Europe to be reckoned with. Europe will become a dreaded spot when America leaves Asia. It is true, as the prophet has predicted, that America must come out of Asia or be thrown out. Each America and Russia, the two most powerful war factors of the world, are seeking to maintain the rule over the nation of Earth, and even to conquer outer space. This will not last long, and a travel investigation into space. Allah God is permitting them to peep into his great unequal creation of power and might, the heaven and earth. The Holy Quran teaches that when Allah God gets ready to destroy people, he opens the door of heaven to them, gives them a peep into his great wisdom and secrets. But this does not mean that this adds power to the enemy to be able to war against the Creator. The reason for all of this is due to the fact that Allah God is setting up a kingdom of righteousness, freedom, justice, and equality. Black brothers do not look for high paying jobs, drawing a big roll of money after war, unless it's with the help of Allah God. You prepare this for yourself, which I advise you to do. The most dreadful divine judgment that have ever been witnessed by man are now coming on America. America is the divine target because she could have bettered herself. Divine eyes of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Falah Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. But America did not and will not better herself, as it is written, prophesied it concerning ancient Babylon and Egypt, who have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. The Bible, Jeremiah 51, verse 9, because she was not willing to do justice by her captive Jews from Jerusalem. So it was with Pharaoh when Allah Jehovah went after Egypt. The Bible asks us, Pharaoh refused to give justice to Israel and made war against Allah. Jehovah and his prophet Moses to prevent Israel from going free of Pharaoh enslavement of them. The war, America cannot win the victory. It is impossible for America to be the victorious in this universal war because of divine intervention against her. See, although she have enough deadly materials manufacturers to try to win, can she win against God? She boasts of her materials, being able to destroy the people of Earth 30 times. If she was left free to use the materials, maybe America could win. But the divine die was set against her long before she ever became America. She can try and boast of her idea of mind to deceive her black slave, but she will not deceive herself and them. America is made manifest by Almighty God and the person of Master Falah Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, that she is a total, deadly enemy against her once slave. For many years I have written that America's greatest sin is evil done to her black slave. Allah God tends to repay her what she has done. She deceived the black slave right at the point of total destruction. She tried to rule the so-called nigger man with false and temporary promise, by offering him high political jobs to keep him from turning his attention to self and kind. The black politician could and should use his political knowledge to benefit self and kind. White America isolate the messenger of God from their minds with these false promises and make them to hate the messenger of God and to work against him, although the messenger of God is working for the enemies of the black slave. The eyes and ears of Allah God are open, looking and listening to the actions. It is not necessary for Allah God to use mechanical devices. Allah God is physically will, and He has will, physical eyes and ears. Is capable of seeing and hearing everything we do and say. He has power to defeat us and our plan, which are against His plans. The American slaveholders want to deceive the so-called into believing that Allah God is not paying attention to them. The white men want them to believe that He is the God that they should pay attention to. I warn my people who believe in the idea that the white man is a God that they should pay attention to. You will come up, the losers. Allah God is backing me up in the work He has given me to do. And the work He has given me to do is for your own black starvation. Think that you have starvation with the white man, and go ahead with him. I'm not here to force you against your own will, but I want you to know that if you are looking to white America for your starvation, you are headed with them to your and their destruction. There is no hope for America to win a war. There is no future for the black man in America. America have no future for herself. She will not be able to win a war. See, the scholars and scientists know that America cannot win. It's not just I saying this. The scholars and scientists will tell us America cannot win. And we know by divine prophecy that America cannot win. If it was just Russia, China, Vietnam, North Korea using their judgment on how best to destroy each other, maybe America could win. For she have as much as they have in war materials and scientific preparation. America is capable of going out of the atmosphere of the earth to fight them from there. But she would not be able to go out of the atmosphere of the earth to destroy the black man of the earth. It's only a mistake that one should believe in America's ability to build a way station in the air on the moon, for she would not be able to use it against us, but the divine plan is set to destroy her. We have many things out there in space that can be brought into action against America or any other nation today. For Allah is the greatest. The mother plane. The mother plane was made to destroy this world of evil and to show the wisdom and mighty power of God, who came to destroy an old world and set up a new world. The nature of a new world is righteousness. The nature of a new world cannot be righteousness as long as unrighteousness is in its midst. The same type of plane was used by the original God to put mountains on this planet. Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is wiser than any God before him. As the Bible and Holy Quran teach us, he taught me that this plane will be used to raise mountains on this planet Earth. The mountains that he will put on this earth will not be very high. He will raise these mountains to a height of 1 mile over the United States of America. This reminds us of the prophet prediction at this time, of destruction of the old world and the bringing in of a new world. Behold, the Lord makes the earth empty and makes it waste and turn it upside down and scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof. Isaiah 24, verse 1. There are planes in various nations today, but this is the mother of them all. Why? Because this type of plane was used before the making of this world. Why should God make such a sign of his power to destroy a nation? Because this is the final destruction of that people who oppose God and his purpose and aim for justice and righteousness. The white race thinks that they have the power. The right race is not a people who is made righteous, my brothers and sisters. Then they turn to unrighteousness. That was made unrighteous by the false God who made them. Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, taught me that this plane is capable of reaching a height of 40 miles above the earth. His words could have been a sign meaning 40 years, in which the plane will go into action, and that referring actually to 40 miles. Allah God does not speak one word that does not have a meaning. Every word that he speaks has a meaning. The mud plane, according to what has been strived by the devil scientists, is capable of not only staying up for a long period of time, but also capable of luring the scientists. So we see the mother planes. The mother planes here to destroy this present world. And that this is a plane that travels 40 miles to Earth gravity and produce her own power. She can go wherever she desire to go in space. See, this mother plane is not like their little bullets or cameras. See, the right race knows that this is a plane not to be played with. Okay, they should know that other planes come out of this mother plane. See, in the 1930s, the Canadian newspaper reports seeing the wheel. See, in 1947, during the Roswell incident. See, what y'all don't understand, brothers, the militaries was fighting. There was a war on this earth from ancient time. But they are advanced. These advanced species, they are so advanced They're not to be messed with. They're not to be taken as a joke. The government knows about this. Congress been keeping this a secret for 30 years. Now don't tell me that America is not going to fall. She's on the brink of this judgment. And the motherships is here to destroy the present world. I know you guys heard about the Anunnaki. Well, they are angry. They didn't want to come here to, destroy this world, but now they angry. And they're here. And keep taking this world as a joke. As for play, as you take it. Play. That's all you take it is play. I'm out.